Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well, because today, we've got some seriously juicy Dallas Cowboys rumors and news to dive into. Now, if you're a Cowboys fan, you know how intense the offseason can be. You're waiting, hoping, and even begging for that one big move to help push the team over the top. The Cowboys are a team with high expectations, and with a roster that's been close but not quite there, every offseason feels like it's make or break. And let's face it, folks, right now, it feels like Big D is keeping things pretty low-key. Free agency kicked off with a lot of buzz, but the Cowboys' moves so far have been underwhelming at best. But don't hit the panic button just yet. There's still time for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys to make a splash, and I think it's safe to say that something big could still be coming down the pipeline. In fact, we're going to explore some big-name rumors that have been swirling around lately, and there's one in particular that has people talking. Could Stefon Diggs, the star wide receiver from the Buffalo Bills, be on his way to Dallas? That's right, we've got some hot takes on a potential reunion of the Diggs brothers Trevon and Stefon playing together in the same defensive and offensive backfields of the Cowboys. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's also some locker room drama involving two of the Cowboys' biggest defensive stars, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Could this tension affect the team's chemistry in the long run? Stick around because we're about to break it all down in detail. Let's go! The Cowboys' quiet offseason, a blessing or a curse? Now, as we dive into the 2025 offseason, let's take a look at the bigger picture. It's been a week full of free agency chatter, and so far, the Dallas Cowboys have made a couple of smaller moves, but nothing major. And I'm not going to lie, Cowboys Nation has been left feeling a little bit deflated. Let's be honest, we were all expecting some fireworks this offseason. After a solid 2024 campaign, we thought Jerry Jones might throw a curveball and bring in a big-name free agent or two. And yet, here we are, with no major splash signings and a team that feels, well, a bit stagnant. But before we jump to conclusions, let's put things into perspective. Jerry Jones is known for being a bit unpredictable. While other teams are out there spending big money, he has a way of taking a more cautious approach, focusing on smart, calculated moves rather than knee-jerk reactions. In a way, that might be a blessing in disguise. Sure, the Cowboys have been relatively quiet so far, but history tells us that Jerry Jones loves to make a move when it really counts. Could it be that the Cowboys are just waiting for the perfect opportunity to pull the trigger? I wouldn't be surprised. But let's talk about the big rumors that are starting to heat up. We're talking about none other than Stefon Diggs. Yes, you heard me right, Stefon Diggs, the star wide receiver of the Buffalo Bills, who's been making waves with his incredible route running, hands, and overall ability to dominate defenses. Could Stefon be leaving Buffalo for the bright lights of Dallas? Could the Diggs brothers finally reunite in Cowboys blue? Let's break this down, because this is one of the most exciting storylines to follow in the Cowboys offseason. The Stefon Diggs rumor, a family reunion in Big D? Now, let's go ahead and lay out the facts. For the longest time, Cowboys fans have been dreaming of seeing Stefon and Trevon Diggs playing together. The idea of both brothers on the same roster, one lighting up the offense and the other locking down receivers on defense, is the stuff of legends. Imagine the firepower that could come with the combination of CeeDee Lamb, Stefon Diggs, and Dak Prescott running the show. That's a dynamic offense that could rival some of the best in the league. So why is Stefon Diggs suddenly on the Cowboys' radar? Well, it all started with a seemingly innocent workout video that surfaced on social media. In the video, Stefon Diggs can be seen running routes with none other than Geno Smith, the new quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, you might be thinking, okay, it's just a workout. What's the big deal? But when you really think about it, this could be a hint at something bigger brewing behind the scenes. Why would Stefon Diggs be working out with a quarterback from another team unless he's preparing to leave Buffalo? And if he's leaving Buffalo, Dallas could be one of the most logical landing spots. There's no denying that the Cowboys have needed a second-star wide receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup has been solid, but he's never quite lived up to the expectations that came with his potential. If Stefon Diggs were to join the Cowboys, he would instantly be the second target Dak Prescott has needed. Adding a player of Diggs' caliber would transform this offense, giving Dak a legit number 2 receiver who can make big plays all over the field. But here's the million-dollar question: would Jerry Jones actually go after Stefon Diggs? Historically, Jones has been hesitant to spend big on wide receivers. He's always leaned more towards building up the defense, investing in the offensive line, and drafting young talent rather than splurging on expensive free agents at skill positions. That's why the possibility of Diggs coming to Dallas feels like a bit of a gamble for Jones, especially considering Stefon's injury history. Diggs is coming off a torn ACL, which may lower his market value, but it also adds an element of risk. Could Jerry Jones be willing to take a chance on a 1-year deal with incentives to bring in a guy like Diggs at a discounted price? We've seen Jones be conservative in the past, but he's also known to pull off moves that surprise everyone. Think back to the signing of Dak Prescott or the trade for Amari Cooper. Both were calculated risks that paid off in the end. Maybe Diggs, at a lower price due to his injury, is a risk worth taking. The money gain: will Jerry Jones pull the trigger? Let's talk about money, because that's where things get interesting. Stefon Diggs' market value was once projected to be upwards of $16 million per year on a 1-year deal before his injury. But with his ACL tear and a somewhat quieter 2024 season, his price might dip. And that could be a huge advantage for the Cowboys if they decide to pull the trigger. Jones could sign Diggs to a deal that protects the team financially but still gives Diggs the chance to prove himself, which would ultimately help both sides. But will Jerry Jones be willing to take a gamble on a big-name wide receiver, knowing that he's got other priorities like bolstering the offensive line and locking up key defensive players? One thing we know about Jerry Jones is that he's not one to back down from making bold moves, but he's also shown an uncanny ability to stay true to his philosophy of managing money wisely. Jerry has a way of getting value out of deals that others would shy away from. If he's truly interested in Diggs, expect Jones to figure out a way to make it work. But the question remains: does he see the potential payoff as worth the price tag? The locker room drama: Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. But let's not forget that there's more drama brewing in Dallas, and it's not just about free agency. Behind the scenes, there's some chatter about the dynamic between two of the Cowboys' top defenders, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. We've all seen the incredible chemistry these two share on the field. Parsons has quickly become one of the best defensive players in the NFL, and Lawrence, a seasoned veteran, has been a key leader on the defense for years. But lately, there's been some talk about friction between the two, and that's something Cowboys fans should pay attention to. Former Cowboys linebacker Sean Lee recently opened up about the situation, and his comments have sparked some serious conversations. Lee hinted that the tension between Parsons and Lawrence might not entirely be on them. He suggested that there's a third party involved, possibly someone from outside the locker room, who might be contributing to the friction between the two defensive stars. Now, we don't have all the details yet, and it's important to remember that this is all speculation. But if there's even a shred of truth to this, it could have a big impact on the team's overall chemistry. The last thing the Cowboys need is drama in the locker room. With such a talented defense, the Cowboys can't afford to let internal strife derail their potential. Parsons and Lawrence are two of the most important players on the team, and if there's any tension between them, it could spill over into the on-field performance. But again, it's still early, and this situation is something to monitor as we head further into the offseason. Conclusion: will this be the year for the Cowboys? So, what does all this mean for the Dallas Cowboys? Well, as always, the pressure is on. The Cowboys have a talented roster, but they need that one big move, whether it's adding Stefon Diggs or making adjustments to the locker room dynamics to push them over the top. This is a team with Super Bowl aspirations, but they can't afford to waste any more time. Will Jerry Jones make the right moves, or will he play it safe once again? Can Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence get on the same page, or will their tension affect the defense? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the Cowboys' future depends on the decisions made during this critical offseason. That's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think the Cowboys should go after Stefon Diggs? What do you think is causing the tension between Parsons and Lawrence? And how do you think this offseason will shape up for Big D? Drop your comments below, and let's talk about it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on all the latest Cowboys news. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, stay excited, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video.